So this is why aliens might already be on their way to us as well.
The universe is magnificent and vast. Hundreds of billions of galaxies, trillions of stars, and even more planets.
Trillions.
If even the tiniest fraction are habitable, then the universe should be teeming with life. And yet we see nothing, only
There's
vast
another
emptiness.
planet like Earth.
Where is everyone else? The answer to this riddle could be as exciting as it is creepy. We are early, born before almost all other life. But very soon, this may change. Not only might aliens appear, they could quickly surround us. An irreversible competition for the universe might be about to begin.
Okay. Kurzgesagt in a nutshell.
While this video is based on scientific papers, we're presenting interesting ideas based on little data and lots of
Imagination.
extrapolation, so take them with a grain of salt.
Okay.
Okay, we need to look at 3 essential questions to understand the galactic competition. 1. How fast can bacteria build spaceships? To become a
Bacteria?
starfaring
Huh?
civilization, life as we know it needs to master a number of very hard steps. It starts with dead stuff turning into the building blocks of life. Then it needs to organize into self-contained cells. Those cells have to learn to work together to form multicellular organisms. This keeps going until complex creatures with big brains learn to use tools and language. Civilization has to be formed from cultures that value progress and technological development. And then they need to actually venture out beyond their home planet. On Earth, life appeared basically as soon as the oceans formed. But then it took 2 billion years to make the step from single cells to multicellular organisms,
that's a lot of
and
years.
2 billion more for us to appear. Culture, civilization, and space travel developed super quickly though.
Yeah.
Do things always
In
take
the last
that
30
long,
years or so.
or was this actually exceptionally fast? Also, passing one step does not mean the next one is guaranteed. Multicellularity evolved over 25 times independently on Earth, but there's only one species that builds spaceships. We don't know how many steps life needs to pass and how long they take to give rise to a technological civilization, but there are probably many, and it's likely that on trillions of planets, life has been trying for billions of years. Since we don't see any other technological civilizations out there, it might well be that we are a rare exception. We might be
dear
among
God.
the first, or even the first technological civilization in the Milky Way. But this is just one piece of the puzzle. On top of that,
Maybe there's
we may have
another
just
on
hit the perfect time
other
window.
universe.
Why does humanity exist now? The universe is already 13.8 billion years old, but it's unlikely that many other technological civilizations had a chance to appear before us. Because in the earlier universe, life would have had a pretty hard time to emerge, let alone thrive, because it was such a hostile environment. Early stars
Very hot
constantly
on,
blew up,
yeah.
galaxies crashed into each other, and supermassive black
Meteorites.
holes vomited massive amounts of radiation, enough to sterilize galaxies over and over again. Our sun was born right at the end of this cosmic death show. The universe has never been more welcoming to life than it is now. So humanity has arrived at a very convenient spot in time, maybe the earliest reasonably possible for life to thrive. What about the future? The sun burns brighter than 90% of the stars in our galaxy and will keep getting brighter. In about 1 billion years, it will boil all of Earth's oceans and then become a giant that swallows it whole. So in the galactic
The death of
context,
star.
the sun is very short-lived. Most stars are red dwarfs that can sustain habitable planets for tens of trillions of years. Life on these planets has an incredibly long time window to appear and pass the hard steps. Even knowing nothing about how rare or common life is, this makes it way more likely for technological civilizations to appear sometime in the future than in the past. Because if civilizations appear at random in the Milky Way within a time window of 1 trillion years, then very few, if any, would appear before today. Then a couple more arrive in this period of 1 billion years that we're in, before all starfaring civilizations that could ever exist emerge altogether. This weird
There's a lot of
tsunami-like
ice.
distribution is the result of both the hard steps model and something else.
Star
A sort
Party
of
Civilization.
deadline for any spacefaring civilization. Any civilization coming after will find it hard to have room to survive, so all potential life has to cram in before it. Humanity exists now because otherwise
the music.
we might have missed this deadline. What or who creates this deadline? Why aren't aliens already on Earth? Humans are curious, expansionist, and
They're
hungry for
scared of
energy.
humans.
We've spread over the world and made it our own. Our technology has been improving over time, first slowly, then breathtakingly fast. If these things don't change drastically and our descendants want to prosper, they will expand into space. We could construct a Dyson swarm for endless energy and transform planets into new homes. We could cross interstellar distances, allowing us to reach for planets around distant stars. If we have the motivation, we can become a galactic civilization.
จริงๆเดี๋ยวจะ
A
ทำวิดีโอ
civilization
กับ
that does
Dyson
this sort of
Sphere
stuff can be called loud because its activity creates noise. Signs that can be detected from far away. Imagine someone in a forest, cutting down trees, starting fires, and laying down roads. The more intense their work, the easier they are to notice. An expanding technological civilization would probably be hard to miss. Our telescopes would pick up all that energy, and we would clearly identify artificial interference with stars and planets. Another consequence of this business is that it's very disruptive to the environment. Clearing a forest means the end of its wildlife. Human activity has left no chance for a squirrel civilization to
Habitat
appear.
Destruction
Not because we hated squirrels, it's simply that the thought that they might want to do that at some point never crossed our minds, and we needed wood. Similarly, if loud civilizations were running around the galaxy in the past, terraforming planets or harvesting the energy of stars, they may have prevented our existence. Had aliens started colonizing Earth while we were still sludge in the oceans, that sludge would never have turned into humans. This is how loud aliens create a deadline for new civilizations appearing. The galaxy may have trillions of years to create life, but there may only be a short window for it to spread and thrive. Even if a loud civilization respects planets with naturally occurring life and expands around them like humans do with wildlife reserves, any civilization on such a planet would not be able to expand ever. Trapped forever on a tiny island. But here we are, so loud aliens were probably never here. What about
Never
aliens
here.
that don't expand? They would be quiet aliens. They're probably limited to one
Quiet
star system
ones.
and don't have a noticeable impact on their
Comes.
cosmic surroundings. Humanity is like this right now. We wouldn't be able to detect ourselves from the other side of the Milky Way. If they stay quiet forever, maybe because of their culture or abilities, then they are not really a concern for us. We only have one sample to draw from: humanity, and right now we are on the path to becoming loud. If we're not special and succeed anyway, then any other civilization with the motivation and resources to would eventually expand beyond its planet of origin. Okay, what are the consequences of all these assumptions and ideas? Grave consequences. Race to the stars.
Okay,
If we are
there.
really early,
If we
then
are,
eventually others will catch up with us. Civilizations
create
will
the
emerge
law.
all over the place, and these new aliens will look at space, see no signs of life, and come to the same conclusion. They exist because loud civilizations have not yet taken over everything, but it only takes one loud civilization to crowd them out of the entire galaxy. They, like us, will face an important decision. Do they stay quiet, take it easy, and tend to their planet for as long as possible, or do they start expanding to take a chunk of the galaxy before someone else arrives? Meeting others does not necessarily mean war or conflict, but it means that new borders will arise, limits that may persist
Which
forever.
oversees the war,
In
so
the worst case, a civilization could be completely enveloped by the empires of others, eternally doomed to be a galactic backwater without control over their fate. So if we want a seat at the galactic adults' table, we best get to work. If we really are early, we have an incredible opportunity to mold thousands or even millions of planets according to our vision and dreams. And one day, when we meet others, We can greet them and meet them as
Okay.
equals.
It's nice.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, can you see anything there? Now, civilization is only then alien with cardiac as. Without ever suspecting.